It's time for clay court tennis. It seems like an age since we saw some tennis on the clay, and we're at Monte Carlo, one of Rafael Nadal's favourite events. Unfortunately, no Rafa. There's a lot of young players. We're going to be going through the draw. I've not had a look at it at all myself, and this is the GTL draw reaction.
That's right, we're back in Monte Carlo, and the big news, if you're a Djokovic fan out there, he didn't get number 100 in Miami. No. But there's something inside of me, JG, that feels he has to be motivated by something to get that next title. And a triple golden Masters could just be the thing that motivates Novak Djokovic right now, because if he wins Monte Carlo, it will be triple golden Masters for Novak Djokovic. It's one of those things that it seems almost impossible for people to do. But I am hoping after that Miami defeat, he just continues the good run onto the clay and gets the victory in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, that's right. Someone who will be there looking to stop him, of course, will be Carlos Alcaraz, who would expect to now come back into his own. He's on the clay courts. Something which he was so good on last year, but that's not who I'm really thinking about. It's Stefanos Tsitsipas. I feel he is the man of Monte Carlo. Maybe we start with some of the previous champions, because I think we need to consider that when we look at the draw. And he is someone over the years who has been very, very dangerous at this event. So 2021, he won it beating Rublev. 2022, he won it again, beating Fokina. Rublev won it in 2023, and that was a bit of a surprise. We wasn't expecting it. And it sort of kick-started his tennis year again, and he started winning a few matches, but up and down Rublev. And Tsitsipas won it in 24, with Rune and Ruud getting into both of them respective finals. Tsitsipas got to be the one to beat, right? I mean, we've got Rafael Nadal. I said him in the intro. He's won this event 11 times to give you some perspective of how great he was on the clay courts and these Masters events. He used to tick them all off. He used to win all of these Masters events pretty comfortably, and I loved watching him at Monte Carlo. It is, I've always said it on the podcast, probably my favourite Masters event. I think we've seen so many fantastic matches, mainly the Rafael Nadal ones. We've seen so many good matchups, I believe, with the big three as well. So Federer, Djokovic, Nadal playing against each other. And yeah, look, just have a look at this. How many times was it in the final? Rafael Nadal beating Federer 4 times in the final there, beating Djokovic as well. Djokovic beating Rafa in 2013. But so many iconic matches in a very iconic place of the world, in an iconic stadium. It is luxury. It's cool. It's a great event to see. And Tsitsipas has been thriving in recent years. Let's be honest, Tsitsipas has had a good little spell this year. He's on the new racket, like you said. He could be very dangerous, and I would not look past him. And what I'm looking for in this draw is, whereabouts is he? Is he going to be close to Alcaraz? Is he going to be close to Novak Djokovic? Because I think either of them two players will want to avoid him. They would only want to play Tsitsipas in the final on the clay of Monte Carlo.
I don't even think they'd want to play him in the final, to be honest. This guy literally is Mr. Monte Carlo, it seems. He's never won any other Masters event, but he's won this one 3 times. Obviously, being a resident in Monte Carlo probably helps as well.
I mean, they all are, though, right?
Yeah, they all pretty much are. But I think Tsitsipas, it just seems to be where he feels most at home. And I love watching him here, because you get to see the real Tsitsipas. This is the one that can take it to the likes of the best players. And I think if he gets all the way to the final, you definitely don't want to play him in the final, because he's probably going to go and win it again. He's only won finals there. He's lost in a quarter-final. He's lost in a third round and a second round. But every time he makes the final, he wins it seems. And it's his only Masters win, but he's got 3 of them. Can he make it 4? And can he, I mean, if he gets 4, is he starting to get up there with the likes of, I mean, Djokovic has only ever won this one twice, and he's looking for number 3. He's already won it more times than Djokovic. But if you win it 4 times, look, you're already, is that the second most out of everybody of all
Yeah.
time. So he's literally right up there in this tournament. So Tsitsipas, definitely one to watch out for in this event. Rublev, another good one as well. And you can see all of these players, like top clay court players, Rune, Ruud, Rublev. Fokina's always a bit of a surprise package when it comes here. Remember, he beat Djokovic, or at least came close on another occasion as well. He's a fantastic player on his day. But let's get stuck into the actual draw. I know everybody's here waiting to see our reaction. I haven't seen it yet either, so this is just as exciting for me as it is for you. And the number one seed, just to remind everybody, is Sasha Zverev. How much longer will this last?
Yeah, and I want to speak about him first. So let's bring up the draw and go through it. We'll start with Zverev's section. And I was just looking... No, I was just looking as we was talking, because with Zverev, we know he's a very good clay court player.
Yes.
So I was expecting to see his name in a final at the very least. He has never made the Monte Carlo final. He's made 2 semi-finals, one in 2018 and one in 2022. He's got a 64% win record at Monte Carlo, which is one of his lowest in Masters. And I would put that a lot down to the fact that it's the transition from the hard court to the clay. I don't think he's got quite going yet. But he's entering this event as the number one seed. I don't think that's probably ever happened before. Is it his time? Is this Zverev's time? Because let's be fair, if he plays like he has done at Roland Garros the last few years, he walks this event, I believe it, in this current form. If he plays 80% of the level he's produced at Roland Garros in recent years, he walks this event.
I'm sorry, but just looking on the screen, we haven't even gone down his section yet. And this has got to be one of the worst sections for a clay court event I think I've possibly ever seen. He's got Berrettini, he's got Lehechka, Korda, Musetti, Rune, Nuno Borges, all in this little section for Sasha Zverev. It doesn't get much worse than that. And we have not even seen who's in the rest of his half yet. That is insane to name all of those players in. Well, he could be meeting them as early as what, the third, fourth round?
I agree. I think it is a tough draw on paper, but Zverev, don't underestimate how good he is when he's on the clay and he's playing well. If I say it again, I'll double down. If he plays like he does against Roland Garros, doesn't have to be the highest of them levels. 78% of that, I think he beats all of these players at a canter without dropping a set, because I think that's how good Zverev can be. Is he going to produce them results? I'm not sure, because let's be fair, he's not been that impressive in 2025.
No.
The burden of being he's not even world number one, a number one seed seems to be able to strangle him, and he can't play his free tennis. It's suffocating for him. So if you just look at that alone and his body of work, then I would look at this and think he's doomed. Yeah, so I can see what you're saying. Let's keep going down to the end of his quarter. So his quarter ends.
Sorry, I didn't know Tsitsipas. There was Djokovic in there as well. I'm sorry, mate. Is this a joke? Is this an actual joke? Is they just literally just put the worst section for Sasha Zverev I think I've ever seen? The fact that Tsitsipas finished off his section is just outrageous. I'm sorry.
I mean, that is pretty wild, I must admit. So Tsitsipas finishes off his section. So that is the 1 through to 16. Yeah, I mean, wow. What a tough quarter that is. If I have to pick an unseeded player to watch from this one, take your pick. There's quite a few of them. I'm probably going to go for Matteo Berrettini based off how he's been playing recently. I think he's coming back to some kind of form. I think he's on the fringes of the top 10. He's playing sort of that top 10 to top 15 tennis.
Yeah.
Musetti has shown some weaknesses and frailties, and I would prefer Matteo Berrettini even over Musetti right now. So he's my unseeded player to watch in this quarter. Would you agree?
I think he has to be, really. And there's a lot of good unseeded players though. Lehechka, Korda, and Borges. They all are really, really good unseeded players there. The Korda Lehechka first round match, that is a cracker. So if someone comes through that with flying colours, maybe a straight sets win, I wouldn't want to come up against them at all. Musetti has got his work cut out for him, I think, in that second round match. But you never know.
Agreed. In terms of the seeds, like you say, they're mental. Yeah. Between a Tsitsipas and a Zverev, despite what I said about Zverev being, if he plays his best, I'm going to be going for Tsitsipas because I think he's been doing the business at Monte Carlo, and I don't think Zverev is going to produce a great level of tennis like we know he can. So, fascinating quarter. You could pick anyone. Tsitsipas is going to be my seed pick, and the non-seed pick would be Berrettini.
I think you have to, like, considering his record at the event, it'd be stupid not to pick Tsitsipas. He obviously has just recently won a tournament in Dubai as well. So, riding a little bit of a high this year, I'd say. Obviously, you can't win every single match you play. He lost to Holger Rune at Indian Wells, lost to Korda at Miami. But now he's in his favourite tournament. And that goes without saying, it's his favourite tournament. So I would expect Tsitsipas to be really relishing this chance. It's a really tough section for him too. We're under no illusions. That's not an easy section for anyone in there. But I think he's the most capable to take out all of those players. So,
right, the next section is Novak Djokovic. He is the third seed, so we have the 1 and 3 at the top.
Bit nicer,
and
this one.
Here, fascinating. Obviously,
look at this.
I'm sure people will be speaking about that potential first match for Djokovic in the second round.
Please.
Would be Stan Wawrinka, Novak Djokovic on the clay. Fantastic matchup. I feel Djokovic will have too much for it, and I don't see any upset there.
Yeah.
But as it goes on, could we see a Baez as an unseeded player? We know how good he is on the clay courts. He could cause some problems for sure. He's like a Schwartzman incarnated, come back to life.
Yeah.
He's flying the flag for Argentina. I think he's dangerous in this event. Daniil Medvedev, I'm not really expecting a lot, and I think if Djokovic could get a big seed, Medvedev's a good one to have. I think anyone would be quite pleased. And De Minaur is a dangerous, good player, but I feel Djokovic, he lost to De Minaur right recently, but I think he's going to have enough now to beat him.
I feel that on the clay courts as well.
Did he lose to him?
I can't remember. I'm not sure if he did beat Djokovic, to be honest. I don't remember that one, if that did happen. But I think I would have remembered that. But Grigor Dimitrov in his section again,
no, he didn't. United Cup, he beat him.
Novak Djokovic versus Grigor Dimitrov. That's another one that looks like we could see again. And I feel that Dimitrov, he's done well at this event before, but he sort of rolls over when Novak Djokovic's best bud, it seems, on tour is there, and he sort of wants Djokovic to win.
Dimitrov, he will not beat Djokovic. I'm looking through a lot of these names. I can't see anyone who can. I think an inspired Sebastian Baez has a chance.
Yeah, really good.
And De Minaur against Djokovic, I think, could be a really good match. De Minaur could beat him, but I'm going to be totally honest. I am not underestimating Novak Djokovic in this event. I anticipate, looking at this quarter, it's a lot nicer quarter than what Zverev has, and I would expect Novak Djokovic to come out and be quite pleased and win this quarter. But
Djokovic?
One thing to note, that's what I'm saying. So obviously, Djokovic's half is not that easy because whoever he's going to play in that semi-final would have come through the quarter of death. So they're going to be a player who's beaten a few good players, I'm sure, along the way to get there.
Or
a tired player.
Yeah, someone who's battle scarred and wounded. Yeah, 3-setter after 3-setter after 3-setter.
A one-legged Tsitsipas potentially.
And Djokovic comes through straight sets against Tabilo, straight sets against Dimitrov, straight sets against Medvedev, and then takes on a wounded Tsitsipas. I'll take that any day of the week.
I think Djokovic will be pleased. I'm not going to say any more.
Well, he'll be happy. He's not one position different. I think. Yeah, exactly. If he had swapped with Zverev, I think, God, he'd be absolutely crying. So,
well, he wouldn't have swapped with Zverev, but it could have been like a Musetti switch, right?
It could have been. Obviously, it's the
or
3. He'd swap with the number 4, I think.
Oh, sorry, number 3, yeah.
But yeah, I was only looking because it was the top 4 seeds. That was all. So if we move over here, we've got on this side. Oh my word, Jack Draper. Here we go on the clay, and this is the Casper Ruud section on this side. So let me try and shrink it a little bit to get everybody in. There we go. And Casper Ruud and Jack Draper are in the same section. Other players of note here, Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe are the other seeds. Yeah. You got Nakashima in there as well. Oh, Fokina in there, though. And this is somebody, he'll like this section, Fokina, for sure. This is a great section for Davidovich Fokina. Someone who's done well at the event before, someone who's been to the final. I think he can take out Ben Shelton, if I'm perfectly honest. And if he does that, Echeverry is a tough matchup as well. Chapeau, I think, are we going to see Jack Draper do well on the clay? I'm not so sure. It's going to be a real sort of, I don't know. I can't really pass judgment on Draper on clay until we see him with this newfound confidence that we've seen of his. So let's wait and see on Jack.
Yeah, you mentioned Fokina, rightfully so, Fokina.
Yep.
But you've got to look at Casper Ruud. He's a clay court specialist against British, American, and Canadian and Australian players.
Yep.
They're all grass/hard court experts on a clay court of Monte Carlo, and he's a clay court expert. So I'm not looking at any form, I'm not looking at anything else. This is Casper Ruud's bread and butter. He should be playing very well at Monte Carlo. He will love them courts.
Yep.
And he's playing against a lot of players who, let's be honest, it's not their best surface. So Casper Ruud is a better player than what Fokina is. And he should be looking at this thinking, I can do it. And if he gets that match up against Jack Draper, I think any other surface he loses. But on the clay courts, it's a great matchup, Jack Draper, Ruud. And in my intro, I said we've got a lot of young players who we've seen come to the forefront, to the top of men's tennis, and Jack Draper's certainly one of them. But the jury's out. How good is he on a clay court? And this is where we're at, kind of thing. And this is what makes, I think, this event more special and interesting this year, is because we've got these players like a Jack Draper, and we're seeing them on a clay court, why they're playing a lot better tennis. And now we get to see, can he now go toe-to-toe with Casper Ruud? I have a feeling he might be able to, but until I see it, it's hard to really believe. And I think Casper Ruud would be very pleased with his section, considering he's the fourth seed. You'd think he should have the hardest quarter out of the four of them, but he's got probably, so far, the easiest one I've seen.
Yeah, he's going to be so happy with this section. He's last year's finalist. He lost, obviously, to Tsitsipas in the final. He beat Djokovic in the semi-final, if you remember, and Ugo Humbert in the quarter-final. So he could have a potential matchup with Ugo Humbert again. He's beaten him before. He beat last year. He beat Hurkacz as well at the event. He's just a quality clay courter. There's no here or there or anywhere. He's always there or thereabouts when you get on the clay court. So if he doesn't win that section, it'll be a disappointment for Casper Ruud, in my honest opinion. And
let me just quickly try and give an unseeded player for that one.
Go on then.
Is there any unseeded players who I think could do? I think it's obvious. It's got to be Fokina.
Yeah,
the finalist. That's the dangerous unseeded player to watch.
Most definitely.
Let's see how dirty he gets. We know he loves to roll around on Monte Carlo. This is where, in a match, I would say a Fokina will go down in Monte Carlo about 6 times. He goes down more than a Premier League football player.
Saw him doing it on the hard courts as well recently. He was like tumbling around everywhere. He just loves it, doesn't he? Just getting...
Yeah, but at Monte Carlo, he really does roll.
I wish you'd see it more on the grass courts.
6 times a set, every game.
6 times a set. Right, but now we're on to the Alcaraz section. And I know that we've been talking about past champions, people who've done well at this event before. Not Carlos Alcaraz. Has only ever played this event once before. He's been absent from it 3 times. He was absent in 2024, 2023, played it in 2022 and only got to the second round in 2022. And then the year before that didn't play it then either, and he lost to Sebastian Korda in 3 sets. But he's a different player since then. He should be looking to be going deep in this event. He's a clay court player. He's a Roland Garros champion. Has to be good at Monte Carlo. If he's not, something's wrong upstairs.
Definitely, agreed. He's got the game to go very well at Monte Carlo. It's always surprising that he's not played this very much. I mean, he's had no success when he did play.
Injuries, I think.
It's come at maybe a bad time before, but I think this year he's not going into it brimming with confidence. He's been a bit up and down, but still, he should be able to produce some results, I'd expect. And there's some interesting things at stake for him in terms of rankings. So Jannik Sinner has not been playing tennis, but yet extended himself as world number one. Because he's not really saving any points here, or protecting any points, I should say, he has a big opportunity to close that gap with Jannik Sinner and also go number 2 and overtake Zverev. So let's see what he can do here. There's some big ranking points on offer for Carlos Alcaraz, but you highlighted perfectly, it is a horrible draw. And the reason I would say that is because his first match is going to be either Fognini or Cerundolo. I think Fognini's finished. Yeah. I'd expect Cerundolo to walk it against him. And that is an absolutely awful matchup. I would say, of all the players I've mentioned so far, I would say Francisco Cerundolo is the best unseeded player on a clay court. I put him above the Baezes, everyone else. I think he is the most dangerous unseeded clay court player at Monte Carlo, without a doubt for me. And for Alcaraz to play him in his first match is horrible, considering he's already acclimatised to the conditions and played one before. Very, very tough start for him.
Yes, this is one of the worst people.
Would you agree it's the hardest unseeded player?
Yeah, probably. He's right up there. He's 22 in the world at the moment. I think he's probably one of the most underrated players on tour that not many people speak about. But you see, he's there. He's just below Thomas Machac, who a lot of people speak more about. He's above Jakub Mensik in the rankings, who just won a Masters. But this is from consistently being good on tour. On a clay court, now we're coming into his element. Carlos Alcaraz will have to be on his best to be able to defeat a Francisco Cerundolo, because Cerundolo, he embraces the grind on a clay court like no other. He would love to drag you into a 3-hour, 4-hour match and just see if you break. And Carlos Alcaraz doesn't need that right now. He needs some easy wins, easy matches to get his confidence up again. There's none of that right here. And unfortunately, well, if he gets past Cerundolo with ease, then we're in great stead if you're an Alcaraz fan.
Agreed. If he beats Cerundolo, then I think he'll be fine for the quarter. Of course, eyes on that Rublev match potentially.
Yep.
Because Rublev would have had to have played well to get to that stage. Monfils is there, like you highlighted. I'm not sure. I don't know what we're going to see from him. But yeah, I'm looking really at that matchup at the bottom. I think it's going to define this quarter. Alcaraz Cerundolo early doors, and yeah, I've already said Alcaraz is going to be my top seeded player, and Cerundolo is going to be my unseeded one to watch.
Most definitely. And we think Casper Ruud most likely from the top. From this bottom section, is it between Cerundolo and Alcaraz, or do you think maybe Rublev could squeeze in there as well?
It's got to be. It's got to be between them two at the bottom. That's where I'm looking.
They're strong.
And I think that's going to define how this half goes.
I'm happy for Cerundolo as well. He's obviously nearly 27 years old, but he's having some of the best tennis of his career right now, right in that mid-20s age bracket. I think that we haven't seen the best of him yet, which is the great thing. I think the best is still yet to come. He's good on the grass as well. We saw him play well against Rafa at Wimbledon. I think he took a set off him. I think he's got an all-round game. When I watched him in the last tournament, his power against Dimitrov is so powerful. He hits the ball with such pace off that forehand side. I'm excited to see what he's going to... Well, if he brings that now into the clay court with the grind, with the power, could he be somebody? If he goes deep at Monte Carlo, could we be looking at somebody who could really be troubling people at Roland Garros as well? I know we've had him on the pod. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I've been really impressed by him this year.
Definitely. Let's have a look at some of the routes through, and then we'll wrap it up there. Of course, we'll be doing a draw preview hopefully sometime this weekend. Once the qualifiers are finished, we'll go through and go round by round, giving our thoughts of the champion. I'm giving you kind of an early indication now, but this genuinely is my first look at the draw, so I need to reflect and see who I'm going to pick. Alcaraz's draw we spoke about. By first round, Cerundolo probably afterwards. Then Felix, Arnaldi, Gasquet. Quarterfinal, Rublev, Monfils or Griekspoor. Got both of the fees there, Monfils and the other fees. Ruud, Draper, Shelton, TFO semi. Final, Zverev, Djokovic, Tsitsipas, de Minaur. And I do think that Tsitsipas could be in that final again.
Yeah, it could be, definitely. And Djokovic, for all of you Djokovic fans out there, hoping for the triple golden Masters and hoping Djokovic wins his 100th tournament, because he's still got that one on the horizon. He will have a bye through the first round. Will he face Wawrinka? I personally think Tabia will probably beat Wawrinka, sadly.
I don't. I think Wawrinka beats Tabia but won't beat Djokovic.
I don't think so, but I hope Wawrinka wins. I think that we'll probably have Dimitrov go through. We'll probably get Djokovic, Dimitrov again. Then we have Medvedev or de Minaur. The way it's going at the moment, probably de Minaur in the quarters. Then Tsitsipas probably semi-final. And then Alcaraz, Ruud. I wouldn't put Draper in this one. I'd say Alcaraz, Ruud or Rublev in that final.
Okay, there we go. That is the routes. That is our draw reaction. Let us know in the comments section, what do you make of the draw? Who's got a good draw? Who doesn't? I think it's safe to say Zverev has the hardest quarter without a doubt. That is, since we've been doing the podcast, one of the hardest, toughest quarters I've ever seen. And I really didn't. I know you was laughing at the start of it, but I didn't realise that there was Tsitsipas there. Or
no, I didn't either.
It just seemed every time we go down one more, there's someone else, and that is a really tough little bit for him. But if he finds his best form, he can definitely go on and win this event. He's not going to, though, I don't think, being the number one seed. And yeah, great tournament coming up. Shame there's no Fonseca. I was really looking forward to watch him at Monte Carlo. That's why one takeaway was disappointing. But can Alcaraz do it for Rafael Nadal and keep the Spanish flag flying in Monaco? There we go. Let's wrap it up there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon for more Monte Carlo action sliding around. Or falling if you're Fakina. See you soon.
Come on, Nole.